Welcome back to a Setup Podcast. I'm your host, Victor Lowe, my co-host, Mark. That was a clean
Yo,
clap.
it
One of the
was,
cleanest
it
we had in a
was.
long time.
That's how I was starting to shake my head. I was like, okay.
we on the right vibes. How you been, sir?
I've been great. I've been great.
It's been years
Yeah.
since we've been in this room.
Yeah, it feels like it, right?
Every episode up until now this year has been pre-recorded. So
Right? Imagine.
like we all did these in 2022. So no, what's new? Everything cool?
Yeah,
You back?
everything's cool.
You're back. You look the
Yeah.
same skin tone. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you spent a lot of time outside while you were in Mexico.
I did. I guess
A lot of sunscreen.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's very weird. I don't know, because I'm usually the type to like I'll still put a good amount of sunscreen and just still get burnt. I mean, like I go to the beach, like best believe I'm burnt. But here, I don't know. I guess it was just the idea that there was just somewhat of a lot of shade, I guess I got to in a lot of places. I mean, I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of times I was out in the sun. So I don't know. I guess the sunscreen we had was just it was doing its
Booming.
thing, man. It was doing its thing.
Was
So
it hot? Was it like OD hot?
oh yes, it was
Okay.
like, all the time. Yeah, all the time it was hot, and yeah, there was nothing really you could do with it. It was almost the idea where it's just like, okay, you just got to accept it.
We
Like,
here. We paid for this. We
yeah,
gotta.
like there's
Not gonna sit inside all day.
there's plenty of times like Emily was telling me, she's like, oh my god, it's so hot. She was like, aren't you hot? I was like, yep.
I'm hot.
I've been hot for like this whole time.
I haven't been cold in days.
Yeah, I've just dealt with it, and I'm just not gonna complain about it because there's no point. Like it's not gonna change. We're here. I wish I had one of them little portable fans, but I don't. So
Yeah.
I'm just dying. But yeah, everything was great. We like I said, we got there Saturday, and yeah, you get there and everything was cool with baggage. You literally try to go out to basically find, I guess a shuttle or something like that. Man, I'm telling you, those people are ruthless. They'll be in your face just trying to get you to like take
Oh, like to take their
yeah,
ride.
bro. They'll go up to you even without making eye contact. Yo, you like it's so crazy though. Like I've never felt like that was such a like an important thing not to do. Literally, the like millisecond of eye contact you give one person, bro,
It's like some Pokemon shit. Like
they're
you're in their
right,
path.
yo, they're
and the
right going
fucking
to
a light
you.
goes off.
Because I've noticed, I'm like, yo, when I don't look at them, they're like, don't even say anything. As soon as I make one little like, they're like, yeah, like, I was like, no, no, bro, I'm good, I'm good. But yeah,
No quiero, no quiero.
so that was that, and eventually we got into our shuttle, whatever, and yeah, I got to the hotel. It was amazing. Yeah, fast forward, we went did some excursions. So I went ATV riding, zip lining. And this was on Monday. So the excursion for that was ATV riding, zip lining, and then we did a tequila tasting while also going to a cenote. So that was really cool. For those who don't know, cenote is basically a hole in the ground, but it's like basically made of like fresh water. So it felt very
Spring.
refreshing. Yeah, in a sense. So it's very refreshing. Did a whole front flip in that thing. And yeah, there was like little fishes in that one that we went into. So it was really good, refreshing, cold. And yeah, the tequila got to me a little bit too. So I was a little
Yeah, I mean it's a
schmiz.
tasting. So
Yeah, I was a little schmiz.
was the front flip before or after the tequila tasting?
It was after. So maybe that's why I did it. But yeah, they were teaching us a lot about the tequila because obviously agave is how you make tequila for those who don't know as well. And it's blue agave to be more specific. And yeah, it's way more, just pure because it's actually from the plant. Any tequila you get over here in the States, for the most part, if you ever feel it being really like a sense of burning, it's because of a
It's
lot of
fake.
chemicals,
Yeah.
they put into that shit.
And a lot of times, like I think they say it's like tequila's not like most of the tequila is actually not even tequila technically, like
Yeah.
because it has to be made like certain.
Exactly.
Like a lot of times they just label it that.
So it really depends also when you start talking about tequila that's aged, because then you got reposado and then you got añejo. And reposado, I forget how long it is. It's probably like 3 to 4 years, if anything like that. And then añejo is like 7 to like
Yeah.
maybe even
So
8.
when that's that with that
Yeah,
brown, like
exactly.
that amber ass color.
Exactly. And that's like more age. But again, when you start to realize in the States, when you see a lot of it, you realize you're like, how is that even really possible? Because if they're trying to
They
like
just pumping
wait,
that shit out.
yeah, they're pumping it out, but
It's
it's
just a
because
little coloring,
they're putting chemicals and stuff like that to kind of, I guess, give it that,
expedite the process, or like make it
exactly.
move quicker, age
So
faster, which doesn't make sense.
exactly is
It's
how
literally impossible.
exactly how. So they were just telling us like, yeah, over here, since we obviously, have the plan, it's a lot easier to really make all that stuff and just yeah, a lot of it was really smooth. And then um they gave us like two kind of like dessert tequilas. One was like coffee in a sense, and another one had like it was like a caramel taste, and the caramel was like, oh my god. So yeah, I got a bottle of that.
Oh, you brought some with you?
Yeah, I got that. So I was like, bro, it tasted really good. So yeah, that was that. Fast forward to Wednesday, we did another type of excursion, and that one we kind of just went and like traveled and kind of went to Tulum, which is where the Tulum ruins are. Um, and yeah, that was pretty interesting to see because it was just like wow, like these things was here for so long ago, blah blah blah. It was near like the water, basically the ocean. So it was kind of crazy to think like, man, these people built this right next to the ocean, but it's like smart because like any civilization that's next to the ocean is like the best. So I was like, yeah, good idea. And after that, we went snorkeling. So went into the water, saw some
Saw some
turtles,
turtles.
saw turtles and stingrays. And the turtle was like almost like this.
Did you
close.
sock one?
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, it's for Steve Irwin. You can do that for real
No.
quick. Crocodile Hunter.
No,
That'd be my first thought. Like, pussy.
Dead, yeah.
That's for him and his son, bro.
That means
His son cool as shit. You ever see his son?
Nah,
Nah?
nah.
Clone. He's a clone of fucking Crocodile Hunter, bro. He's the nicest dude, and he knows about the animals and shit. He literally like they're all following in like his footsteps and shit.
That's cool.
He's doing the same shit. He's like on TV now. Like he's basically doing his shit.
That's love.
You watch one video, you're watching 100 because it's
Okay.
just him. It's like, oh, like here's this title, and we got.
That's cool. So yeah, did that. Saw some fishes too in there, and yeah, it looked like I was in Finding Nemo.
Did you noggin with the turtle?
Yeah, a little bit. It got like I was pretty close to one of them. They kind of came pretty close. It was like going up, I guess, for like air for a second. So it was pretty cool. And we learned that like this isn't hang loose. This is their sign for turtle. So
Over there?
yeah,
Okay.
it's like their sign for turtle. So whenever they did that, we were in the water. They were like basically saying like, "Come over to us" because it's a turtle.
There's a turtle.
So I was like, "Oh, so we like swam over there."
Mhm.
So yeah, that was that. And then after that, we went to another cenote, but this one was like the best because this one was more of like a cave. So you really went into like a cave and was really in like a cenote that was like there for thousands of years because they had like the stuff like the stalagmites and all that stuff in there. So it was really cool to really just they taught us about yeah, like these things have been forming for thousands of years, and it's all like made out of basically like calcium and all that. And I was like, damn, it's kind of crazy.
Mhm.
So what was cool is that again they had the fresh water in there, and then while you're in there walking through everything, we actually like get in the water, and we actually like while we're in the water kind of go through like these kind of like holes or like kind of like cave I guess holes, and we were like going through the cave while we're in the water. So it was like crazy to be like in through all of that and shit and just travel through it. And yeah, as we got up there, there was one part where we were allowed to kind of like go up to like this little high point and jump off and go into the water. And our tour guide went, and when we jumped off, she would like turn the light off. So it was literally like pitch black in
Mhm.
there. You couldn't see shit. And that shit kind of creeped me out. And it scared me because like there was like two people that went before me, and I was just like seeing it, and I'm just like, you can't see it either, but all you can hear is just the splash. So I'm like, yo, I don't know if I want to go. So I don't want to turn back. But what was scary is that like when you jump, you're like, okay, you're already here. But what scared me was the idea that I jumped, but I swear I didn't feel the water for like a hot minute. And I'm like, yo, how high?
Am I dead?
I was like, how?
You just look around, you're in heaven.
It's like those TikToks where they try
Yeah.
to copy the guy who does all the fucking shit with the
He's like,
guns
oh, I
and
know what to
shit.
do.
And
And he's
just-
like in white. It's like, welcome, my son.
right? It's just like, wow, okay. Yeah, so she turned out the light. I jumped, but like I swear I should have touched the water already. I didn't. Eventually, I did, obviously, but it was just one of those moments. I was like, "Damn, I didn't know how high."
You were
I went.
falling for so long, you stopped. You like stopped holding your breath.
I literally was like, I closed my eyes and I opened it for a second because I was like, "What? Where am I?" Like, I was like, "Did I hit the water yet?" And then eventually I hit it, and I was like, "Damn!" But
Nah. The
Yeah.
thought of that is funny though. It's just like wait, there's no water. Am I dead?
yeah, like I was looking like, what happened? Yeah, so we did that, and we also just saw kind of also in there, there's certain trees that eventually like it's like very specific. I can't remember what the names of them are, but they like go through the ground and they grow and grow, but once they finally hit the water, they like stop growing and then they just basically stay there. And eventually she said it was like a very like thin in a sense, like root, but once it hits the water, it kind of eventually then starts to get thicker and branch out. Yeah, so we saw a couple of those, went back through it. And yeah, that was really I was that excursion, and then the rest of it was kind of just chilling and everything
Having
like
no
that.
toilets.
Yeah, and then Wednesday night happened, and
Yeah,
then no power, and man, I was a little scared for myself there.
you just got now you gotta I mean, can you? I was gonna say you just bring candles with you, but I was like, I don't think you allow that on a plane.
I mean, you could there, but like to really like anticipate that happening is very rare.
Yeah.
Like I was not expecting to be out of power in a resort, So yeah, that was my Mexico trip.
Beautiful, beautiful. For me, what I was trying to remember what I was doing like while you were gone that weekend. And the first day that you were like out, I believe, or the day after, I went to like this thrift event thing. There was just like hella vendors. And I went by myself. I was just like, because I've been trying to be like, all right, so I'm trying to be more comfortable with just like being out and like being social with people because I'm terrible at just like making conversation with people. So I was like, all right,
Same.
I was like, I'm going, and then I had this thought about it afterwards. So I was like, I'm gonna get to the point, but I bought a ticket by myself, and I bought it like months ago, and I was like, oh fuck, like this weekend. I don't want to go. Like I was like, I'm not in the mood for it anymore. But I just forced myself to drive because it was like in Valley Forge, just far as shit from where I'm at. So I took the drive up there, got there, and it's like this basically like a convention center, but they rented out a bunch of space and like each like vendor that like thrifts on their own and they
Mhm.
flip shit had their own little section and they set up shop. And it was cool as shit, bro. I was just like, I walked in there. First, I was just to myself, like browsing through clothes, and I started talking to like some of the owners and shit. Hella cool people. I talked to this one guy for like a good like half hour. He wasn't even the owner. I went to like a section. I was like, yo, I'm trying to buy this hat. Like, what's up? And he was like, this is not even my section. He was like, I'm just bowling to the bathroom, so I'm just watching shit for him. And I was like, all right, cool. So we talked for like a half hour, and I'm talking. I'm like, oh, like this guy's like my age. Bro, I talked to him for like a half hour, and then he just randomly like just drops in. Oh, because I asked him, I was like, "Where do you usually find your shit?" Because some of the stuff he had was like worth like bread.
Mhm.
So I was like, "Do you just source it through thrifting? Like, what do you do?" Because a lot of people do different shit. And he was like, "To be honest with you, bro," he was like, "I just had this from like growing up." He's like, "I'm 47, bro." He looked younger than both of us. That's a lie. He looked like our age,
Okay, that's fine.
bro. He looked young as fuck.
That's crazy.
Only thing that would have gave him away is that he was bald, but he had a hat on. But, like, face skin wise, bro, he looked like our age. But he had, like, crazy ass, like, Marvel T-shirts, like, that came out back then, like, all over. I was like, "Oh, this is insane." Because I was like, "There's no way you just find this, like, in a fucking Goodwill." Like, because some people like, now thrifting is so popular, you can't go to a Goodwill and, like you can, you'll find maybe something solid or if you're lucky, but it's, like, 1 in every 10 times you go. So now people will buy, like or go to, like, house like, estate sales or, like, yard sales and shit, or, like, they'll buy pallets of clothes and just hope that they get something.
Mm,
So I was like, "How did you?" And he was like, "This is just shit that I had growing up."
it's just
It was
me.
like or like shit that I would go to like my uncle's crib. He's like, "I'm getting rid of this stuff," and he was like, "Don't do that. Give it to me." So yeah, I bought a couple things. A lot of those vendors, now reselling is like hella jacked up, overpriced shit. And some of the stuff I was like, I'm not gonna hold you because I was talking to him. He's like, people are like disrespecting me low key with some of the stuff here. I was like, the stuff is expensive, but it's also not a necessity. So it's like if you want to buy, you could buy. Somebody gonna pay the price because people do it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But he was a cool guy. I met a lot of other couple cool people there. But like the thought process that I had afterward, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense, and it made me want to do shit by myself more often. If there's ever a thing where like, oh, you guys can't make it, or something that you guys aren't necessarily into, I was just like, when you think about it, really, like, say for example, you want to go to a concert by yourself, and you're scared about being I was like, yo, you're going to a place that's filled with a room of people that share a common interest with you. So it's literally easy as fuck to start a conversation with. So like they all like the same shit as you. Like I went to like that convention thing, like they all like clothes. They all like this old vintage shit. And so do I. So I could go up to anybody and just bond or like swap stories about this shit. So I was like, I don't know why most people are, I mean, I was scared myself, but I've done it before, but I was just kind of like, yo, like when you think about it, it's really not as weird as you think it is.
Yeah.
Because you're just in a room of people that all share like something in common with you, and you know that starting off.
Yeah.
So I was like, if anybody's like, oh, I want to do this something by myself, like you can, is all I'm saying. Because you already know that you have one thing that you'd be like, oh, like how long you been doing this, or like how you feel about this, and they're gonna chop it up with you.
A little motivation for you
Yeah.
guys.
Because I had the same thought. Because I mean, it's been a minute since it happened, but like I went to the Big Sean concert by myself when we were supposed to go, and I was just like, fuck it, like I'm gonna just go anyway because I already got my ticket.
Yeah.
So that was another thing where I was just like, oh, like it's kind of weird. Like I never did shit by myself, but it ends up being cool. So it's like, kind of get rid of that scaredness. Then the day after, no, this was the same day. Damn. So that morning I did that and I drove back home. And then I go to a concert that same night. So I went to this concert. Bro, the venue, never heard of it. Like, you know how like we've been to like TLA
Yeah.
or like the Fillmore or the Met or all that. It was none of those, bro. It was this tiny little joint that I never heard of near Spring Garden. I was like, yo, like I've never seen this place in my life. But I went with a friend and they were just like, yo, I like this artist. I ain't never heard of them in my life. The tickets were like $20. I was like, fuck it. Like I'm not doing nothing. So I go, right? In the room, yo, the concert, no lie. This room was the standing area for the crowd. And then I would say that wall, like think about if the wall wasn't there, it was a stage. That's how big it was. And then there was a bathroom in the back, and the bathroom had a shower and like a toilet and a sink and shit. It was one toilet and a shower. I was in like a shower head and your little area you could sit in. I was like, oh, this is kind of. I was like, who's to say I close this door right now and just freshen up a little bit?
You're like, I got a little hot just after
Yeah.
that last song. I'm gonna freshen up.
So yeah, so I went to that, bro. It was a small little area, and it wasn't even like packed like that for. It sold out, but the room wasn't packed. So I was just like, I guess they only cap it to like they don't want it to be OD like annoying.
Yeah.
But it didn't even start yet, and some girl just straight up passed out. And I'm like, bro, it's not that like when you got like remember we went to Logic and we were outside and like people were cramped together, like people were pushing, like you can understand somebody can get hot. You're outside in the sun.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't hot in there. Like nobody was really on. Like you didn't have to be pressed up on anybody. You had room to stand. So I was like, I didn't get it. But then there's also people like they just pass out. Like there are some people out there that genuinely they could just be living life and then just and like I honestly that scares the shit out of me. But whatever. So I like at first I was like, oh, she's probably like on drugs or something. But I was like, there are people that they just get hot and they pass out, or like they don't eat and they pass out.
Yeah.
So she passed out. Her boyfriend or her friend, whoever was with her, like she passes out. He caught her before she really like went down, and he's like dragging her over to like a couch. But I felt bad because I'm like, yo, this man don't know how to carry her because he's dragging her like he has her like under her arms, like dragging her like that. But her ankles are all getting fucked up right now because she's unconscious. So they're just getting all twisted up. I'm like, she's dead ass ragdolling him like right now. But then she went and sat down, like they called the ambulance, and then she was just like they were fanning her, and like she got up and whatever. And then they came to her, but she like went out there, and I guess they looked at her, and then she came back in and like watched the the rest of the show. She fucking rallied.
Stuck some adrenaline in her.
Which makes me think that she was probably just like she's one of those people that just if she gets too hot or whatever, she might just pass out.
But now we got to stick you in the back outside where it's some air.
And it was also very cool as well because they were some very like smaller artists, but they still sold out the room. It was like an opener and then like a band or whatever that came out after. They literally walked like there was a staircase and they walked right past through us to go on stage. Like I was standing next to the girl that was like gonna go on stage for like a hot minute, just listening to the music. I was like, oh, like it's you. Like like you she was like, oh she was just like, oh, I gotta go on stage now. I'm like, oh shit.
You think it's like a regular person?
Yeah. Cause I mean it was somebody like our age and shit. Like she looked like it was just a regular person, like which they all are, but once you get to a certain point, they start dressing a little weird, and you could tell who's the star there. It's like when you watching a show, you could tell who the main character is versus all the side characters. But yeah, she went up there and like she did her thing, and that was cool. And it was kind of like you could tell they were all just young people running the show themselves because it was the girl that went up. She had brought two of her friends with her on tour to like I guess do everything. So like one was like she handled all the music, the DJ shit, and the other one was just like a hype man. And she was like, yeah, like we just all been cool since we were like in high school and shit. But it gave that vibe too, cause like they didn't give a fuck. Like they were just like, oh, like what's good, bro? It's like this music about to start soon. She gonna play some music until she get on stage. Like, what's up, y'all? She's like, I'm twerking a little bit. Like, boys just fucking around. And then they finish, and then like the main artist was like, they had a band, but they were solo artists, but they had like their consistent band that they like travel with. The band was fucking killed it, bro. Whoever that drummer was, he was going stupid. Like you would have thought it was like, you know how you listen to beats like on like a studio recording,
Yeah.
sounded dead ass like that. I was like, yo, like this man is talented as fuck, and you could see him. Like I was watching him more than the main person because he was holding a beat for a minute. And it was fast as fuck. And you could see him just like breathing, like trying to like hold that shit, like his arms burning and shit. I was like, yo, like respect. I was like, I don't play drums, but I know you like fighting for your life right now. So
man.
that was dope. But then I forgot to mention this. So I had no idea who anyone was. I like tried to listen to them leading up to the concert a little bit, but I didn't really get to like listen to them a whole bunch. So in between the opener and like the main, they were just kind of like, oh, like we're running a little behind. So we're going to play some music for y'all, just vibe out. So that was happening, and then the main event person's hype person was like, I'm gonna get y'all ready for the main event. Like he gonna come out soon, but we gonna turn up a little bit. And he did a good ass job. He was a good hype man. Like I was getting lit, but it was him, and then one of the guitarists of the band just went up there, bro. When I tell you he was so gone before the show even started, bro. He was drunk and he had to have been on some type of like mushrooms or something. His eyes weren't open for the entire set. From before it started, because he was up there listening to music, just like vibing and shit, to when he was playing guitar, he did not open his eyes the entire set. And when he tried to, this one barely moved, and then this one was like half up. He was gone, but he was killing it the whole time.
He was just like, I gotta open it real quick just to make sure I know where I am. Okay, I'm still here.
Bro,
Alright,
dead
cool.
ass. I'm sitting there like, yo, like, I haven't seen his eyes open this whole time. He's just been doing his whole, like, we're not here to him. Right now, he's just doing in his own, he's in his room right now. Like he don't know that we're
He's in
here or
the
nothing.
hyperbolic time chamber.
Facts.
Just killing it.
But that's the one thing that I love about smaller shows is like you could tell they give way more fucks.
Yeah.
Like they just put they heart into shit because they still trying to make it. So they just give their everything. Like their energy does not stop from start to finish, and like it sounds real, and like they're a lot of times they're just hella talented people. So yeah, it was a good time. And I found out after the fact that I knew one of the artists because they featured like a way bigger artist. I was like, oh shit, like I didn't even peep that that's their voice. But yeah, that was one thing there were two things that I did while you were gone that was cool.
Wow. Very eventful. One day.
Yeah, I try to. Cause the way my job work, I be getting days off like once every 2 weeks. So it's just like once I have a day off, I'm like, I gotta fill it with shit. Cause I don't feel like I'm not like I'm not doing nothing. Cause it's very easy to like you just working all the time and you get home and be like, you know, I'm just gonna sleep. And the next thing you know, it's fucking Monday again. And you back in there and you fucking are mad at yourself.
This is true. I felt that before. Yeah. Damn. That was great.
Yeah. I did something else too, and I'm fucking forgetting. It's been a minute since we've fucking been in here, so I was trying to recap, but yeah, bro. Other update from our last episode, you know, this fucking highway collapsed. It got fucking worse. It's just been more chaos. Somebody crashed into a pole and it fucking shut down because they made a temporary road to like kind of, you know, it's like, all right, you already know it's gonna be shitty, traffic gonna be ass, but we gotta do like it's literally impossible. Like that highway is like a huge pillar of like shit that happens in the city for people getting to and from work, to and from school, and just like cargo like vans and trucks that are moving like shipments and shit. So they had to do something. So they opened up one fucking lane and somebody hit a pole or some shit happened. Wires came down and now that shit shut down.
And you know what's funny? We literally predicted that. We literally said that. We said they're gonna open it, and the only thing we can hope is that no one causes an accident. Because if they do, it's literally shit. It's terrible.
It's gonna be like there's only one way. Like there's only so much room. Nobody could pull over. Like you just gotta sit there like a fucking dumbass.
Yeah. So you try to jump that hole.
Yeah. Like Quinn. I feel like there's a man.
Fucking all the way back there, just fucking going.
It's like it's like some fucking like the Freebird songs like
right.
He's trying to fly. But that happened, and then a couple days prior, like on Tuesday, the day we dropped the episode, a lady was driving on 95 and like a car in front of him had like a sheet of metal on the back and it flew off and like went through her windshield and killed her. That is a fear that I've like thought, or something that I've thought about as I'm driving so many times that I've been like, let me move over out of this lane. There'd be some trucks that be having like pipes just sitting there and they just have them loose.
There's some I see that have like fucking logs, like trees, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Or you ever been driving, you see like fucking strollers or bikes and shit on the side of the highway, like, yeah, like that shit definitely just flew off the top of somebody's car.
Yeah.
Somebody, you know, am I really gonna trust some stranger to make sure that shit's strapped in right? Like some people are just dickheads like that.
Yeah.
Shit scares me. That's the last thing I need. I just had a tire fly at my shit a month or two ago.
I would have been done at that point. I'm like, no, I'm not going on the highway anymore.
Yeah. Today I almost pulled the folk over on the way to you, but I didn't get a good look at it. Somebody just had a gaming chair on the side of the highway. It was like a basic jump, but I was like, one of y'all might want it. I was like, that'd be the shit that be going through my head.
Shit, yeah, I need to get a new one. I'm trying to get rid of the one I had because it's not that it's like you can't sit on it. It's just obviously I got it for free, and it's just one of ththose things where it's like, okay, let me get it.
This time.
Yeah, let me just get a new one.
When did you get it? What'd you get that for?
I got it from Manny.
Oh,
He literally wasn't
yeah.
using it, and he was just like, "You want it?" And he told me he was like, "Yeah, one of the armrests is like miss. It's not that it was missing the cushion; it was just kind of like the screw
Dented in.
came out
Mm.
or whatever, so like you couldn't really like use it. So that was just about it. I was like, "Yeah, shit, I'll take it. I mean, fuck."
Mhm.
So yeah, I had that for so long, but now I'm just like, man, I just want to be able to have like one that's actually fully like working. I
Yeah.
guess like it's new. It actually has his arms, so
One thing I like recommend though, because I feel like unless you really want like a gaming chair,
no, no,
I
no,
feel like you better off getting like an
no,
ergonomic chair where you're
no,
just
no,
not
yeah.
fucking your back up.
No, no, yeah, that's what I want. I don't want a gaming chair anymore. I want just a regular, like that one. Y'all can't
Basically,
see
yeah.
that one.
Where it's just not fucking you up and shit. Like I feel like that's just more for looks that people go for. But like
Yeah,
if you're really gonna be on that shit for hours, like
yeah,
one of those will do you perfectly
100%.
fine.
Yeah, you just take that job.
Yeah. It's not like they use it.
Exactly. They
They
won't
just throw shit in
notice.
here.
They
Yeah.
won't notice. We come out with
I
the
just throw it on
chair.
my shoulders. Like, I brought this in.
Right? Yeah, I was. Yeah, this is ours. It's
We
like,
don't even have to walk past them. We can just go through the
exactly.
elevator.
They'll probably check later, but at that point, what they gonna do?
Take it out my bill. Sorry.
Turns out they Jones like $500.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
The chairs like that though really do
they
be
do,
like,
yeah.
they'd be like
They're
deceptively
They're
expensive.
expensive for no reason. Yeah. Like, oh, because it really helps your back. I'm like,
But
bro.
but like it do though
It
sometimes.
do, but I'm
You could
just
tell the difference between those chairs are like the chairs on no lie, the chairs on my job, bro. I be you know when you're uncomfortable, you just keep switching positions. That's me all day, bro. I be checking myself, like catching myself, like have bad posture. I'm like, oh my god, bro. Like, but I'm like, this shit not comfortable.
yeah.
Make you want to bring in your own shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You get a new chair. So that's the next up. That's the next upgrade.
That's good. What did I see the other day? They fucked my head up. It's whatever. Point is, this city's still in shambles. I was driving down South Philly yesterday, and that shit had me annoyed because every street was fucking all torn up. And then it's like they tear shit up, but then like they'll leave like you already know what I'm talking about. Like this, like we seen it driving down here today.
Yeah.
It just makes you just, I don't
What
want to.
irks me the most about that is that like they'll fix a street, they'll do this, they'll do that, and then like the same thing, like one street or two streets over, the exact same shit. I'm like, bro, like, how are y'all constantly starting these projects and never finishing them, bro? Like,
Well, now it's never nothing's gonna get done because
Yeah.
everybody's at the 95 right
at this
now.
point, yeah, but it's like, yo, I never understand it. Why did y'all start this project over here, and then another group of workers got a job to start another project 2 blocks over, and the same shit? Y'all just started and then left it. Like, I don't get it. Why is there so many streets where you go to 2 blocks over, 1 block over? It's the same shit. I hate this city, bro. I hate it so much. It's like
You just gotta start all over from scratch.
it's just crazy because like I've never been to so many other cities, but I just feel like just being in one other city for about 2 days, I'll be like, wow. Like,
I'm not gonna. That's immediately how I felt when I was like in New York, because I was walking around New York and I was like in the Bronx and like in Brooklyn and shit. And I'm just like, yo, I feel so much safer here than I do in Philly. And there's more people here and like all this other shit. And it's like you could just tell, like if you've lived in like a bad neighborhood, you can tell what in any city what a bad neighborhood is.
yeah.
And it's like, all right, this is like a area that's like, lower income, but I still feel okay. Like everybody's minding their business, everybody's chilling. As long as you just mind your own, like you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And you don't get that in Philly anymore. It used to be as long as you just like mind your business and you don't start no shit, you cool. Now you could just be an innocent person and you get your shit clocked in. You know how many times you see this like a headlines like, oh, like teenagers beat elderly man up. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, like I've seen multiple stories of just that for no reason.
Yeah, this city sucks. Honestly.
Gotham.
Sometimes I hate being like from this city. Like I hate telling people where I'm from.
And you're just like, oh, you get that reaction.
this conversation's done. I'm gonna go over there now.
How many times I get that? Like even just in Jersey, like I'll just be like at the doctor's office, like, oh, like, where are you from, or what are you up to? Or he's like, oh, where'd you go to school? I was like, yeah, I went to Temple. He's like, oh, rough neighborhood, eh? And it's like, yeah, bro,
And
like,
you still made it out alive.
yeah, like what you want me to do? You make it seem so bad. That used to be my thought process. Like, oh, y'all make Philly seem so bad, and then you go there, and you're like, yo, it's really that bad.
Yeah, it's just that we're here so often that we just don't see it that clearly. But like, yeah,
Man,
it's terrible.
hey, it is what it is. But if any of y'all talk shit about something, I'm on your head.
One word about this place, I swear.
Go Birds, go Phils. The Sixers winning the chip next year. We out.
Bro, we taking L's all day, but it's okay.
I know this has been a rough year for this city, but we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna stop with that shit. Mark, where can they find you, buddy?
Find me Instagram, ETC Marky Mark. Is that right? Yeah, ETC Marky
Figure your
Mark.
own shit.
Okay, I almost did. Twitter, Marky Mark. Victor, where can they find you, and etc.
Find us everywhere at Real Etc. and myself at ETC Victor. All the links are in the description. We on our way to like what 1,400 right now, so we appreciate y'all for that. On our way to 15. Then after 15, 16. After 16, we're gonna go to 2,000. We're skipping all that.
Okay, I was like, oh, okay. We just skipped 3,000.
But yeah, appreciate all the love, you guys. We're on our way to 1 million too. We had like a 700,000 views on our page.
Wow.
That's dope. But love you guys. See you next week. Bye.